You've heard of the rumor. The rumor is true. Hollywood will be adapting one of your favorite novels into a movie. Big director, big actors, big screenwriter, big budget. What are you going to do? Hello, welcome to my channel. Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and today I'm doing a response to Michael K. Vaughan's video, Adaptations, when he was talking about Hollywood or other types of media adapting one of your favorite books into a movie or a TV show. He focused very heavily on Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And there is a very good reason to focus on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, because there is a new movie adaptation coming out in 2025 by Guillermo del Toro. I have seen a few of del Toro's early movies, ones that he filmed in Spanish, and they were pretty good. But will I be watching the Frankenstein adaptation? Frankenstein may be one of the most adapted novels of all time. It was, of course, adapted into the famous Boris Karloff movie in 1931, and that is a very famous movie. As Michael K. Vaughan says, but it really isn't the Frankenstein story. And then in the 50s and through the 70s, you had other types of Frankenstein adaptations. You had the early Hammer films like The Curse of Frankenstein. And then you had some other ones of Hammer, I believe was The Horror of Frankenstein. And I saw those old Frankenstein adaptations as a kid on TV. Were they good movies? Not technically, but I enjoyed the heck out of them. Were they true Frankenstein adaptations? Not really. Not like the book, or not even like the original 1931 movie. And then you have some more salacious adaptations like Flesh for Frankenstein, also known as Andy Warhol's Frankenstein from 1973. In 1974, you had an adaptation of sorts. You had Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein. This may be my favorite Frankenstein movie or adaptation. And so it's been adapted a lot. Frankenstein has also been adapted as a play. This is Nick Dyer's Frankenstein, originally from 2011, but I saw a production late in October in my hometown of Fredericksburg, Virginia. This was a small, nonprofit community theater production of this play, not a big budget, but it was an interesting adaptation and a lot closer to the novel than most movies. There were some changes, of course. They had to get rid of the framing narrative where you see Victor Frankenstein going towards the North Pole and he's picked up by a ship and then he tells his story. That's the novel. But in the play, it starts off with the creature's birth, the creature awakening. And in this stage production, they did something rather shocking. The creature was buck naked when he awoke, and you got to see the actor rolling around on the stage, moaning and screaming in his birth pains, naked. I really have to admire the actor for doing that. And you know something? He was actually a fairly good actor. My wife and I went into this community production thinking, it's a community production. Is this going to be any good? And the actor did a fairly good job as the creature. The other actor for Victor Frankenstein also did a good job. The other actors were adequate. There was a scene where the Victor Frankenstein was creating the monster's bride, and the woman who played the bride also got on the stage buck naked. Now, I don't think that was in the original play. I think that was just the director's interpretation, but it made it an adult production. And perhaps my favorite adaptation of Frankenstein. Will I be watching the Del Toro adaptation of Frankenstein? Doubtful. It's not playing at any local movie theaters near me. I have very little interest in driving north an hour or so to find one of those theaters. When it is streamed on Netflix, I'm not going to be able to watch it because I do not subscribe to Netflix. But this brings me to the point. What is the appeal of adaptations? Why is it that people get so excited when they hear about their favorite novel being adapted for the movies or a TV series? They get real excited. They say, I want to go see that adaptation, and then get so disappointed at the flaws and the changes in that adaptation. But what makes people eager to go see an adaptation? A few years ago, a booktuber was talking about the upcoming Dune adaptation coming out. He really liked the novel, and he says, I doubt they'll do a good job with this movie, but I have to go see it anyway. And my response was, why do you have to go see it? Just because you like the book in no way obligates you to go see the Hollywood adaptation or sit in front of the Netflix adaptation. You can say no, even if it's your favorite novel. But people seem drawn to adaptations. They don't have this ability to say no. They want to go see the adaptation and then complain about it, saying, oh, this character wasn't like this in the book, and they changed this or they changed that. And perhaps the griping is part of the appeal of the movie. But for me, I like to say no to adaptations for the most part. I'm giving a little bit of a pass on this Frankenstein play because it was a local play. It's not the same thing as a movie. But when people see about these movies, these TV shows, people are just drawn. They don't seem to be able, like this other booktuber, to say, I prefer not to watch the adaptation. And that really is the point of this video. You are not required to watch an adaptation. Now, if you like movies and you want to see the adaptation, then go ahead and do it. But there is not a requirement for you to do it. If you do not like the way Hollywood or Netflix or any other these producers adapt your books into film, TV shows, or whatever, just say no. Go back and read the book. Frankenstein is a magnificent novel. It is well worth multiple rereads. Are any of the movies that I mentioned at the beginning of this video any good? Well, some of them are good in their own way, like the original 1930 Frankenstein, which is, again, really not Frankenstein. Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks, well, that was a great movie, but again, it's further removed from its source text. And the Del Toro Frankenstein, who knows what it'll be like? I will not be watching it anytime soon. Well, that is just my opinion on adaptations. You have the choice. You have the power. No one will hold a gun to your head and make you see Del Toro's version of this novel. You can say no. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.